Hello, everyone. This is Tim with Online Big Blue, bringing you the best in New York Giants sports talk and entertainment. And tonight, or today, or whatever time it is, it's the kickoff show. And we're bringing him back because you know what? He needs to be here. It's the Brooklyn Hitsquad. How are we doing today, Mr. Hitsquad?
It's been a long time, Tim. I'm doing good. How are you, man?
I'm not bad. I'm in my ketosis still. I'm almost 12 pounds down, getting the strength back up again. It's going good. I think I'm gonna start playing. I think the Giants are gonna need me on Monday.
They might put you at right tackle.
No. Come on. Come on. Hey, listen, I am the negative one, not you.
Okay.
Don't steal my thunder. I saw a video by Bad Dog a couple weeks ago or a week ago, and he posted things that people thought were negative, and I even posted on his page. I said, hey, you're crossing into my territory. I am Mr. Negativity. You're not. So don't steal my thunder. But let's get into the 2020 season. I got a couple questions for you right off the bat.
Sure.
We haven't talked in a while, but we've chatted online and on text, but we haven't done a show in a while.
Yeah, long time.
Training camp is done. The scrimmages are done. We have an unofficial depth chart. We know who's on the team. We know who's on the practice squad. We've made the additional adjustments and changes. Coming out of camp, and after everything that we've done and all the moves we made, what do you think of the Giants' 2020 roster?
I like it. I like the roster. Going into this season, I do have some expectations for the teams, but coming back into reality, this team is still rebuilding. We got a lot of young players on this team. I like it, but at the same time, I want these players to grow with each other. I want them to learn and, go through the process with each other. We're going to see a lot of dirty games this year. I feel like our rookies are going to be put to the test. Our second-year players are going to be put to the test. I feel like, some of us as fans really wanted us to go get the big playmaker on defense, and we didn't. But,
we got Logan Ryan.
Yeah, we got Logan Ryan.
29 years old, can't play corner anymore. But, hey, we got Logan
Ryan. He wants to play exactly. He wants to play safety, and, I'm all for it. I would trust him more in the safety
I'm just joking. I think he would do a great job at safety.
Absolutely. I mean, I feel confident with what we have. There were some cuts that I was a little shocked with that I thought they could have helped our team, but I'm trying to be Mr. Positive, and I'm trying to just trust what the organization is doing.
Speaking of cuts, Ryan Conley.
Yeah.
What is your now? I did a video, and even Joe Judge said that they wanted to try to sneak him through waivers, put him on the practice squad, but they felt that he would never make it through waivers, which he didn't. He went to Minnesota, and I'm glad for him because he's going to a playoff team. He's a good guy. Yeah. Devontae Downs, are we really sold on him playing alongside Blake Martinez? Because Mayo's still hurt. Mayo's on the IR for at least another 3 weeks. I mean, what was your thought process when they just dumped Ryan Conley?
At first, I was a little confused, but as the days kind of went on and I went back into it, kind of looking to see, okay, what could have cut Ryan Conley? You heard that, he was sitting out of practice. There was like a lingering injury that he was going through, but nobody said it was severe.
That injuries were not a factor in releasing Ryan Conley.
I want to believe that. I really, really want to believe that. But at the same time, it's like, why was he missing time? And I think
he played in the second scrimmage. He held out. He was held out of the first scrimmage because he tweaked his knee, but he did play in the second. He participated in most of the end of camp. So it's not like he was on the sideline for an extended period of time the last 2 weeks.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, so you think that, we kept Coughlin, we kept Crowder, we kept Brown.
It's almost all our rookies.
We kept, pretty much all the rookie linebackers. And this was a guy that we took in, the 5th round last year?
Yep.
Who showed promise. And I've said it before. Ryan Conley reminds me of Zach Thomas. I'm an old guy, and I'm a Florida guy like you are. I lived in Miami, lived in Tampa, lived in Orlando. I saw the best of Zach Thomas, and what Zach Thomas was known for was a heat-sinking mislet the ball carrier. Somehow that guy would seem to have limited ability, still found a way to get to the ball carrier, and that's what Ryan Conley reminds me of.
Yeah, Ryan Connolly. I had expectations. I thought that he was going to do really well this year. I thought, especially pairing him next to Blake Martinez. My thing is, I mean, other than what we're hearing from in training camp, I don't know too much about Devontae Downs. I know he's had 3 official starts.
Well, he was a 7th-round draft
you know,
choice.
like,
He had minimal experience with us. He played minimally last year. Where they like his athleticism. But my thing is, Mayo's hurt, and then we got 3 7th-round rookie draft choices behind him. And like I said, outside of Crowder, you never really heard a lot about Cam Brown or Carter Coughlin in camp.
No.
You did not hear about them excelling in camp. With the beat writers there, you would hear it. No one ever said, well, that Cam Brown looks good, or that Carter Coughlin's wreaking havoc getting to the quarterback.
No.
I mean, then you got to hope that O'Shane Ximenez or Lorenzo Carter can pick up the slack, because they're evidently, I mean, especially O'Shane, he's listed now as a linebacker on the unofficial depth chart.
Yeah, I saw that.
So, I mean,
going into camp, you heard quite a few things about Lorenzo Carter. I think if there's going to be any time in Lorenzo Carter in his career for him to break out, I feel like it would be this year. I wanted to get your thoughts. I know you're expecting O'Shane to have a good year this year, but do you think it's possible that maybe it's Lorenzo Carter that gets that big leap this year?
I am hoping that it's Lorenzo Carter, to be honest. I mean, because of the fact this is his 3rd year, and I've said it a million times, you cannot judge a draft class until year 3. Because of the fact that, you go through your rookie season, you go through your sophomore slump, then you hopefully if you went through a sophomore slump, you hopefully have progressed your ability into year 3, because like I said, yes, the NFL now has 2 years of game tape on you, but hopefully you've made the adjustments, from that tape. You're throwing something different at them. And Lorenzo Carter having a great day against the Giant line in a scrimmage, I was not someone that sat there and said, "Oh my God, he's the second coming." He's, I heard O'Shane, I heard O.C. Umenyiora. We got another O.C. Look at that dipping, and look at him dip his shoulder and go under. It's like, guys, it's a scrimmage.
Man.
They call it a contact scrimmage. Let me see what happens when he goes up against someone full speed that he does not know all the nuances of. You've been practicing 2 months against the same guys. You know what they can do. And that's why I said I'm concerned. I have 2 concerns. Is our line really this bad? And is our defensive line really this good?
Yeah, those are 2 good points you make. And I've been on record saying that too. He knows their tendencies. You're going against them almost every single day. You're going to know what the offensive line is going to do. You're going to know certain, tip-offs of what plays they're going to be doing. I need to see him. I need to see that translate in an actual game. I need to see him do that against the Pittsburgh, against Chicago. I need to see him do it against a team that he hasn't really practiced against. I think that O'Shea will have a good year this year, but I really want to. I don't know if you would call it blind faith, but I really want to believe that Lorenzo Carter will have a good year this year. Well, I think it's about time.
The thing is, it is a lot of blind faith, and I've said it before. The Giants are a team of ifs. If rookies do well, if the offensive line holds up, if Daniel Jones maturates into year 2. If, O'Shane Ximenez can get 7.5 sacks, if Carter can play well, if Marcus Golden can repeat his success, because you got to remember, Golden has a good year, he's got a bad year. He has a good year, he's got a bad year, or he's got an injured year. So this technically would be the bad year then, if you go by his current status. And was he a product of James Betcher? So I mean,
I think it's possible.
There are a lot of ifs.
Yeah, and I think you left one if out. If this receiver is the next Victor Cruz.
None of them made it. I was shocked. Not one.
I was shocked too.
I mean, I had a team of them. What
You
happened?
know, when you sent me that text message saying none of them made it, I was expecting just a video of nothing talking about. I was right. I was right. But you guys didn't listen.
I've given up
You're
on
better
telling
than that.
people. I have given up on telling people I was right. I have given up on that because even when I'm right, I still get bashed. I still get bashed that I'm negative. That I had one guy tell me today, I don't know how you can have Big Blue in the name of your YouTube page because you're so negative. He goes, all you do is agree with the beat writers. And I told him, I said, well, I take that as a compliment because the beat writers see the team every single day. And the former players that are beat writers are saying the same thing I'm saying. So, I mean, I must be doing something right.
Exactly. I mean, people want to hear what they want to hear. And even when you're right, it's someone else's eyes you're wrong.
That's a great way to put it. And I think one of the I laugh because, I was talking to you too. I was saying, and I just made an off the cuff comment that I was thinking about not doing the channel anymore, or I had thought about not doing the channel anymore because of the fact that it wasn't because of the negativity. It's because a lot of people, and I have really fantastic subscribers, and a lot of them are very intelligent in regards to not only the Giants but football. But I get tired of the comments from people who never played, never worked in the game, and never done anything in the sport. I'm tired of hearing people say, well, the players feel this about getting hit. Unless you have strapped on the helmet and know what it's like to be hit. I got hit 3 years in Pop Warner, 4 years in high school, 3 years in college. Okay, yep. You reach a point that you don't want to get hit unless you have to. And I've even said in my video, you have what I like to call a hit meter. And when your hit meter starts going down to 0, that's when you stop playing. And now a lot of these, and people are like, well, that's that the players want to feel popped. No, they don't. I can take firsthand from training camp. Warren Sapp, his last year, 2003 with Tampa, did not want to get hit. Did not want to hit anymore. He wanted to hit people, but he didn't want to get hit in training camp anymore because he was, 9 years in the league at that point in time.
You get tired of it. You get tired of it.
Mike Allstott, I had a great conversation with him that year as well, and he basically barely practiced, that year in 2003. He did practice during training camp, but it wasn't the same as he'd done before. And he said the same thing. I take so much abuse during the season. I do not want to take the same amount of abuse in training camp. I save it for the game.
Yeah, I don't blame you. I actually wanted to ask you a question really quickly. With the Monday Night Football game coming up, I know that there's a bunch of players on that Pittsburgh Steelers defense that you can look at that really pose a threat. Some of them are game changers. To me, I think the most notable is T.J. Watt, 14.5 sacks, 8 forced fumbles, 36 QB hits. Now, looking into it, most of those QB hits and sacks came from the right side. Your best friend plays on the right side, Mr. Cam Fleming. How optimistic are you that Cam Fleming can somewhat hold his own against T.J. Watt or Andrew Thomas against maybe Bud Dupree?
Well, like I said before, I started bulking up again because of the fact that I think I might have to play on Monday.
You should.
I am not a Cam Fleming hater, but I am not a Cam Fleming fan. I've said this before. He's had what? 50-something games in the NFL and only 20-something starts or 70. I don't remember what the exact number was. And he has never won a job outside of injury. He has never, except for this camp, he has never won a job by beating someone out. When he was in New England, he played in the Super Bowl against the Eagles due to injury. He didn't, and then they thought so highly of him in New England, they let him go after the Super Bowl. He played in Dallas. And again, his first season, he didn't really play. His second season, he did play, but it was only due to injury. And during that second season, they signed him to a 2-year contract. They felt so much about him that they released him, 1 year into the 2-year deal. So I have an issue with a guy that has never won a job till now. Now, if he is just a placeholder for, for our old buddy, what's his name, Parrott, that's fine. I have no problem with that. But if we have to look at this, and honestly, I think we need to look at this as a single every game. I don't think we have to look at this entire season per game. We can't look at the big picture right now because, like I said, they're going to do a defense by committee, a defense by substitution. I think they're probably going to do the same thing with the O-line.
I think
so
too.
you're putting guys against. I'm also more worried about Bud Dupree because Bud Dupree is probably more going to go up against Andrew Thomas.
I think so too.
And I think that is the first, and this is what scares me about the first 3 weeks. You've got Pittsburgh, you have Chicago, you got San Francisco. You potentially have 3 top 10 defenses.
Brutal.
And the line, and I'm like I said, outside of Kevin Zeidler, I'm worried about every position on the line. Will Hernandez, off year. Are we getting Will Hernandez for his rookie season or his second season? Nick Gates. We're not even 100% sure Nick Gates is starting. It could be Spencer Pulley, but they have Nick Gates listed on the depth chart. Then you have Andrew Thomas. I mean, we knew Andrew was going to start, but this is beyond a test. And like I said, it's going to be, and I've said this before, they're probably carrying a multitude of tight ends because it's going to be Saquon left, Saquon right, Saquon out of the backfield. And I think and I even said it before, I'm not going to give my prediction of the game, but I've said it. What happened to you there, sir?
I disappeared.
Oh my God, he's back. I said it before. If Daniel Jones throws 20 times or under, we're going to win the game. If he throws over 20 passes, we're going to lose.
Absolutely. I mean, they against the pass, the Steelers are very good. They don't got a good run defense, but against the pass, they're very good. And I think if you could develop a running attack, and if you could stop T.J. Watt, I mean, I'm like I said, I'm more concerned about T.J. Watt than Bud Dupree. I think T.J. Watt is a monster, just like his brother J.J. down in Houston. I mean, when you look at it too, I honestly think he should have been the defensive player of the year last year.
Yeah, he could have been. My thing is, though, with Pittsburgh is we're probably going to go to a 2 tight end set quite extensively, only because of the fact that we are going to have to give our left tackle and our right tackle some help.
Absolutely. I mean, I would expect that. I would expect some double team on the line. I would expect even maybe Saquon doing a little chip as he's going out for a route.
Listen, I'm glad you brought that up. Saquon I hope to God he has improved on his blocking.
I hope so too.
Because Wayne Gallman is also not a great blocker. Deion Lewis is not a great blocker.
He's very small too.
And Penny as a fullback, he's not a fantastic blocker either. And people are like, "Oh, you don't know what you're talking about." No. Look at the game film. Look at what he does. He's better off at chip blocking and then flaring out. And that's what he's better at doing than sitting there and being a pile driver for into the middle of the line. And I get concerned, like I said, that if Saquon has not improved in his blocking, poor Daniel Jones may get killed.
Oh yeah, and that's my biggest concern going into this game. If we can't protect Daniel Jones, they're not going to win this game.
No,
they're not, because then you just stack the box. You stop Saquon, and what else can you do?
Well, I think that's what they're going to do right away. Anyways, I think they're going. And I even said I think they're going to put 7 or 8 in the box, and they're going to dare the Giants to throw. And I've even said in one of my other videos, I hope Joe Judge or Jason Garrett does not try to be the smartest guy in the room and then challenge the Steelers deep off the bat. Because I think with like Fitzpatrick and everyone else in back there, it's just it may get ugly.
Yeah, absolutely. And I'm not on the offensive side for the Pittsburgh Steelers. I have some concerns, but it's not nowhere near my concerns on the defensive side of the Steelers. With David DeCastro going out, they have a solid line, but that's still a pretty big blow to the offensive line for the Steelers.
It is. But the problem is also they have 2 good wideouts and James Conner.
Yeah, But I think
and
the Giants have
actually two good tight ends. Now I know Vance McDonald's. People think he's okay, but he's still a solid starting NFL tight end. Eric Ebron, I'm going to tell you right now, I loved him coming out of college when he went over to Detroit. He never fulfilled his promise in Detroit. He had the one big season with Andrew Luck in Indianapolis, and then he fell off the planet. He was supposed to revolutionize the tight end position. He is going to be a dangerous matchup for the New York Giants linebackers and safeties.
I think so too. Prior to the Xavier McKinney injury, I was excited to see that matchup. I felt that they would put him on Eric Ebron, since Eric Ebron's a little bit more of an athletic tight end than Vance McDonald. But like you said, Vance McDonald is a solid tight end. I'm not too worried about James Conner. I think that we have a good run defense. I'm worried about us generating a pass rush. But I think if we could get something, in the interior, I think that we could get something rolling. Big Ben's coming off that injury. We don't know how he's going to play. He's another year older. He's not mobile at all. I know that Deontay Johnson may not play. While that's not their number one, he was pretty solid for them last year. So I think that gives Chase Claypool a lot more time to play. I know some Giants fans really wanted Chase Claypool. He's 6'4", so I'd see him more in the red zone. But, the Giants are going to have a handful. And I hope that, players like Cam Fleming, I hope that, Leonard Williams, he wants that big payday. You got to prove it to me.
But you got to remember, you still have Villanueva. You still have what's his name? Pouncey. Him and his brother, I can never pronounce his name. And you still got the other guy. I can't remember his name off the top of my head. So you have a consistent still starting three that can know how to pass block, have been together for a while. And like I said, I am more worried about them getting like you're saying, getting the pass rush, but I am more worried about them pounding the ball in with James Conner and setting up the play action pass to the tight end.
Yeah, no, that's a big concern. The Giants have a handful going into this game. We knew coming into this season that this was going to be a brutal schedule.
Yeah, first three games. It is. It's toughest in the league.
It's very tough, but I think, I'm not going to sit here and say, if the Giants win this game, this will speak on, Joe Judge. I need to see a season's worth to give a full analysis on Joe Judge.
Well, and I just did a video today that basically said, and I've said it, and I'm saying it again, if Joe Judge loses this game big, not the media, social media will turn on him immediately. It's going to be like the whole Saquon Barkley crap where he had the bad game against the Jets, and we had to hear for a week how he was a waste of a second overall pick and we should have took a quarterback.
Yep, I remember that.
Well, a lot of people don't remember that. It's funny. You talk to people, I'm like, I don't remember that. I'm like, really? You really need to go back and, I know people have short-term memory sometimes, but you really need to go back.
I see it on Twitter sometimes where, they'll post like a Saquon highlight or something about the Giants. And if you look through the comments, you'll see at least one photo of Saquon's stats from the Jet game. And it's like, I get that. But I think we just got to be patient with this team. We got a lot of young players. They're learning a new scheme. Some of them, for Daniel Jones, this is his third scheme he's had to learn in 3 years.
Yep.
This is a really young team. I think they were the second next to Baltimore. They have a very young team. And we had to really be patient with this team. I know, we're tired of losing, going 3-13, 5-11, etc. I think we're headed in the right direction, but we just got to be really patient with this team. And then I think, within the next year or two, that we can really, really compete, with the rest of the league. But right now, I think, just be happy that we got football back is all I'm going to say.
But the big question of the day, what is your final score? And at the end of the fourth quarter, it's blank over blank. What is your final score of the day?
So I'm going to go out on a limb, and you know what? Some people may give me crap for it. I don't mind. I have the Giants pulling an upset 21-17.
Why?
I think honestly, I think Saquon is going to have a very good year this year. I think they're going to pound the ball more than throw the ball. I don't think that they have a player on the defensive side that can guard a player like Evan Ingram. I think that that's a mismatch on any team. But at the same time,
Patrick.
yeah, Minka Fitzpatrick, you're
Minka
absolutely
Fitzpatrick,
right.
my friend, and I'm telling you right now, the Pittsburgh Steelers linebackers are more athletic than people give them credit for.
Devin Bush is a monster.
And that's who I was. You want to talk about a guy that I wanted? I so wanted Devin Bush. Devin Bush has speed to burn at the linebacker position. He reminds me of Telvin Smith, who was in Jacksonville, who retired early, but he has speed to burn. And if anyone can shadow Evan Ingram, it's going to be him.
Yeah, I mean, when you think about it like that, absolutely. I think that definitely poses, a threat to Evan Ingram. But I just think that, the Giants will find – I like I said, call me optimistic, call me being a blind faith.
You're young. You're allowed to be optimistic.
Fine. I'll take it, Mr. Negative. I just think that, they're really going to pound this ball. The Steelers don't have a good run defense, and I think that the Giants will find a way to, take advantage of DeCastro not being on that lineup. I mean, I think we can agree that the Giants' strength is on that defensive line. And, you and me both have said that, I think that Dalvin Thomas.
The Giants' strength is not the defensive line; it is the defensive tackle position.
The defensive tackle position. Excuse me.
If you know what? If James Conner bounces it to the outside, are you really confident that our ends are going to be able to contain him?
I think if he bounces to the right side, he's not going anywhere because of how big Dexter Lawrence is.
No, but Dexter Lawrence is. Dexter Lawrence. I know they're going to try to put him in a defensive end position. But Dexter Lawrence is not as fast as James Conner.
No, absolutely not. But, it's like I saw Dexter Lawrence in person, man, and it's like I right next to him, like I touched this man's shoulder, and it's like I'm a big dude. I'm a very big dude. And it's like seeing him have to walk sideways into a building because he can't walk straight into a building. I understand why, people say that this man's a monster on the field.
Oh, yeah.
I've noticed recently somebody pointed this out, one of my subscribers actually, that Pro Football Focus really loves Dexter Lawrence.
Don't even get it. Pro Football Focus is a joke. I don't even want to talk about it.
I don't like Pro Football Focus either. I take them with the smallest grain of salt. But I just
when you don't equate certain things such as missed calls, missed assignments. You don't equate situations in reference to if their team is being blown out by X amount, and you say you are judging someone on their full totality of their game when you're not breaking it down situationally. It's a joke.
Absolutely. You're 100%. I don't, like I said, I take them with the smallest grain, but I just thought it was very interesting that out of any player on the team minus Saquon, the player that they seem to give a lot of credit and boast for is Dexter Lawrence. And I think he had a fairly good year last year. I thought he played a lot better than a lot of people thought.
Yeah, he came on very strong the last 7 weeks of the season.
Yeah. I think that this team could be better than a lot of people think, but I understand that we have to kind of halt the expectations because there's so much going into this league with this team, new scheme, new coaches, young players, hard schedule. There's a lot going into it, and this team is going to grow and learn with each other, and we just have to be patient. But I think that there's still room for optimism.
Well, I'm going to go the opposite spectrum because I am Mr. Negativity, and I don't want to be Mr. Negativity, but I am going 35-17. Why? Steelers are going to put 7 to 8 in the box. We have seen numerous times last year Saquon can be frustrated. And you know what? If Saquon is not attacking the hole and he is pushing into the line and trying to bounce it out with his little spin move, he used to drive Shermer crazy. He used to drive It's because, and they even had, if you remember back to his rookie season, they even told him maybe 6-7 games in, you need to attack the line. You need to go into the hole. No more of this bouncing shit out. No more doing this. You need to be, we don't need you to be a power back, but we need you to be able to go through the line. And once he did that, he became Saquon Barkley.
Yeah, you saw him in the Tampa game.
Yeah, exactly. Now, the problem is he's going to go against a line that, like the Giants, is very athletic. But the Steelers are athletic throughout the line. And that is a dangerous situation. And if Saquon Barkley starts running his head into a brick wall, we have seen him get frustrated and kind of take himself out of the game mentally. So I'm hoping that doesn't happen, because then that's the case. They're going to have to rely on Daniel Jones. And Daniel Jones, and like I said, we are one concussion and one pregnancy away from losing 2 wide receivers. Let's face facts. Yeah. And we have to hope that the league has not adjusted too much to Darius Slayton, or we're going to be relying on Evan Ingram, who's going to have to go after a pretty good linebacker and a pretty good safety. So I think the Giants are going to keep it close going into the fourth. I think it'll be like 21-17, but then I think it's going to be I think it's just going to be a collapse. And I think it's going to have to do more with the Steelers' offense and Big Ben. People say Big Ben's not mobile. Big Ben hasn't been mobile in years. Nope. He hasn't been mobile. He wasn't even mobile coming out of college, really. He ran around, but he was there. I would never say he was fleet of foot. Mm-hmm. And I think that's going to be the issue. And I think the other issue is going to be people understand now Daniel Jones. They have the footage. They've seen it. They understand the fact that you do not give him the open lane. Because if you give him an open lane down the middle of the field, he's going to run. We saw that right away. They're going to keep a linebacker at home. They're not going to shadow him like they used to do to Vic, but they're going to keep a linebacker at home and in that middle of the field. They are going to force him to step up, climb the ladder, move it forward into the pocket, be an Eli, go side to side. They are not going to let him bounce out or bounce through the middle unless it's a plan rolled out. And that's what concerns me. Like I said, I think the Giants are going to keep it close. But like I said before, I think right now teams that are veteran-laden are going to have more of an advantage than teams that are young. Because the fact that these young guys, no one's gone through the COVID thing that we've been going through. But you know what? We're now getting back onto the field. And basically veterans have a better ability to adjust because they've played the game 7-8 years already. So they know what to expect going into the start of the season. You got guys going into their second year and their first year that we're going to be relying heavily on. And some of these guys have never taken an NFL snap, and then we got guys that like Devontae Downs has only taken a couple, so we
don't even know what to expect.
We don't know what to expect. I think it's going to be close. And like I said, going into the fourth, maybe the Giants even have a lead. Maybe the Giants are winning, 17-10. But I think that the experience of Ben Roethlisberger. I never say that. I was stuck with Thuckatash. I can never say his. Thank you. I can never say his name. But I think the experience of Big Ben, the running ability of Connor, you got Juju Schuster, and you have Mike Tomlin. And I've told the story before. Mike Tomlin was the defensive back coach when I was in Tampa. And, I could never sit there and tell you I always thought he was going to be an NFL head coach back in 2003 and 2004. But when he ran the defensive backfield with the Bucs, he was prepared. And you saw that. And you saw that with his unit. And you've seen that with the Steelers team throughout the years. So he's not going to be thrown off by Joe Judge. He's not going to be thrown off by Jason Garrett. He's got a game plan. He's formulated. People are going to be like, you should be wearing a Pittsburgh Steelers hat. No, I'm just being honest.
Yeah, and you make a good point. You got to give a lot of credit to Mike Tomlin and this team because, they had no starting quarterback last year, and they still managed to go 8-8. They got a solid defense. They got solid players on the offensive side. I think this is going to be a test for Big Ben. He didn't go through a full season without playing with Antonio Brown. I know that's very little, but last year, I think really that does make a difference. He didn't get a full season playing with the receivers that he had, and we don't know how serious that injury was. We know it was serious.
No, we know.
We know.
Yeah,
we know it was serious, but we don't know, how he is in terms of like his recovery. We don't know how he's going to play on that field. The elbows, that's a big part in your throwing. The elbow's no joke, and Big Ben is definitely getting up there in age.
Oh, yeah.
So
He's the same age as Eli.
Yeah.
And we know where Eli is. Eli's sitting on the couch in Hoboken somewhere.
Living his best life.
Exactly. One last question because we're going to wrap this up.
Let's get it.
And I said this before, and I'll say it again. I know I said, you know what, we're going to have to take this season one game at a time because we're going to be so situational. And I want to have this for at the end of the season. Before kickoff, what will the Giants' record be at the end of this year?
So initially I had it kind of high. I had them going. Oh, I disappeared again.
There you go again.
I apologize.
All right.
I had them going a little higher than what I had them now. I'm gonna have them going 8-8.
8-8. Wow. I had them at 9-7. I had them at 8-8, and I had them at 6-10. I am staying 6-10. I am taking the Vegas odds here, and I am staying at 6-10 only because of the fact that they're, like we've said it before, the Giants are a team of ifs right now. And I'm telling you right now, if they go 6-10, that's a fantastic season. After the last 2 years, that is, to me, that is a winning season. I don't think a lot of people will take solace in that, but I do think that if they are able to go 6-10, that shows a marked improvement. The only problem is if they go 6-10, I think Gettleman's keeping his job.
Unfortunately, I don't even want to say unfortunately, but yeah, he definitely would keep his job. I don't even think fans should be upset if the Giants were to go 7-9. I mean, that's such an improvement than what we've gotten the last couple of years. And I think that would just give us the peace of mind that we're headed in the right direction with everything going on, not just with this team, but just throughout the league. There are other teams learning new schemes that are young as well. But just given that, I would be okay with that. I'd be okay with 7-9. I'd be okay with 6-10. I don't want that. I want to see the Giants have at least 8 wins, but if they were to go 6-10, 7-9, I have no issue with that. It's better than what we've been getting the last 3 years. So
the issue is though the Giants are one of 2 injuries away from going 1-15. They lose Daniel Jones, and they lose Saquon Barkley.
If they
lose either of those guys, I tell you right now, the Giants are probably going to go like 2-14.
Yeah, you definitely make a very valid point there. I think that they lose either Daniel Jones or Saquon Barkley. Really, for me, Saquon Barkley, because I think he's just that much of a difference maker, and I think he's that.
Well, my thing is, I like Colt McCoy, but I don't like Colt McCoy starting for 12 weeks.
Absolutely not. I don't like that either. I mean, I wouldn't. Could you imagine if they brought up Cooper Rush? No, I would lose my mind.
It's better than Alex Tanney.
Let me tell you something. Just on a side note, thank goodness we got rid of this man. I'm not trying to sound like I'm happy that he's not making any money, nothing like that. But
you sound pretty happy.
I'm happy that he's not on the team.
Has he not stolen enough money from the NFL his entire career?
I mean, not as much as what's his name from Chicago.
Nick
my
Foles?
God. No. He
Trubisky?
Chase Daniels.
Chase Daniel. Chase Daniel actually played. People give him shit, but he actually played well in Kansas City.
He played okay.
Yeah, he played better than Alex Tanney. He threw a lot more passes than Alex Tanney.
I mean, look, Chase Daniels almost beat us 2 years ago with the Chicago Bears.
Listen,
So,
I have almost thrown the exact amount of passes in the NFL that Alex Tanney has.
Yeah. Okay. You're about right. Yeah.
Because you know what? I threw, it was preseason 2 years ago, and we went on the field at the end of the game, and I threw 2 touchdown passes in the corner of the end zone from the 20-yard line to my buddy Quaddy. So you know what?
Okay.
I have thrown 2 touchdown passes in MetLife. I don't think Alex Sandy can say that. And that was after a game.
Exactly. You know what? You could be the third QB on this roster, but I think I'd feel more comfortable with you at right tackle.
I don't know about that. All right, I'm going to give you, like as always, we're going to wrap this up. I'm going to give you the final thoughts, the final questions. It's all yours.
So, to the people that are watching this, if you made it this far, I appreciate you guys. I know Tim appreciates you guys as well. Let us know below players that you are keying on, whether that's the offensive side or the defensive side of the Pittsburgh Steelers. I actually have a video out talking about TJ Watt. You heard Tim give his thoughts on players that he was looking at on the defensive side. And I just have one last question for my man, Tim. Tim, I know you said 6-10, but do you think that it's possible that this team could go 8-8?
No.
Okay, I'll take it.
I think that, like I said, we are a team of ifs. And when you are a young team and every other sentence starts with "if this happens," you are relying on unproven players in their first years to make huge jumps into gel. You are relying on guys that are going into the third year to start progressing into NFL players, and you're hoping that guys that are going into their second season don't fall into a sophomore slump. And you are hoping that you potentially have 2 rookies at right tackle and left tackle and a starting center who's never started an NFL game at center before, that they hold up, for 16 weeks. We just don't have the depth. And people are like, well, you don't know what you're talking about. We don't have the depth. No, we do not. Look at rosters of NFL teams that are going to possibly be in the playoffs. Look at the positional depth behind their starters. We don't have that yet because we are a young building team. That's not a derogatory statement, but that's just what we are.
Yeah, I'll take it. I'll take it. We'll see at the end of the season.
Well, I'm glad you're going to take it. And, we're going to wrap this up, not to cut you off, but you know what?
You're good.
We're going to wrap this up because we're going to save it for after the game. And again, this is Tim with Online Big Blue, bringing you the best in New York Giants sports talk and entertainment. And as always, we are here with the Brooklyn Hitsquad. And if you have not found his channel, it is Brooklyn Hitsquad. I forgot the number that's behind it.
96.
Brooklyn Hitsquad 96. Make sure you go check it out, subscribe, because you know what? You never know how long Online Big Blue will be on the air. I'm just saying that to freak people out. And again, this is Tim with Online Big Blue with the Brooklyn Hitsquad, bringing you the best in New York Giants sports talk and entertainment. And as always, if you could like, if you subscribe, if you could ring that bell, I think you know what that means? That'd be awesome.
Exactly.